Hello students, good evening. Welcome back to the class. In the previous class, we started with the new lesson winds, storms and cyclones. New chapter means we have already completed the two classes on this lesson. So what we have learned in the two classes? What is winds and there are some activities which through which how the wind is impacting on the earth's surface and what are some characteristics that will have to the winds. So we have studied the what is wind. The moving air is called it as a wind, and you also have done the activities that warmer air is lighter than the colder air. How you done that? By taking the activity, means considering the two packets, when you have air in it, then you have to start to blow a heat from the downwards, and the packet which is occupying the heat from the flame, heat from the candle or some other things, that packet will start to move upwards, and the another packet which has no heat in downwards, then it will start to move downwards, because we say that the warmer air is getting started to move upwards because of temperature is increases there, and in the colder air there is no any temperature, and hence it is start to move downwards. Okay, so from this activity we can conclude that warmer air is lighter than the colder air. Okay, so there are so many activities. I hope you all get that points, and in the today's class I am going to start with the new concept. What is that? Wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. It means there is a winds present on the earth's surface. So how these winds acting on the earth's surface, does it depend upon the temperature difference? When the temperature is increases, the blowing of the wind will be different, and sometimes when the temperature is less, how the wind is blown, that we are going to study in the today's class. Okay, so here it is what uneven heating on a earth's surface means. When the temperature is more, there must be a difference in the blowing of the winds. Okay, from where to where this wind is blowing? As we all know, it is moving from a lower region to a higher region or higher region to a lower region. As I already told, it is moving from a higher region to a lower region, means the pressure where the high is there to a low pressure region. Okay, so here the first one is uneven heating between the equator and the poles. Okay, there must be an imbalance between the, means the temperature between the equator and the poles is different here. That's why the wind starts to blow from equator to the poles and poles to the equator. So I will explain that later. And the second one is uneven heating between the land and the water. As you all know how this is acts in the fourth chapter, that is heat. So in this you have studied about the land breeze and sea breeze. Okay, so first one is uneven heating between the equator and the poles. Okay, firstly you all know that, means you have already studied that in the geography, the equatorial regions on the earth's surface, they will supposed to have a more temperature compared to the poles. You know that? Yes, it is because in the polar regions, so okay, so as told that the equatorial regions or the places at the equatorial regions will get the direct heat, means they will absorb the more heat from the sun directly. It is directly falling on the earth's surface at the equator, hence the temperature at these regions will be more, and at the poles the sun temperature reaches is very less, and the temperature at those places will be cold. So in this case what happens, the latitudes at the polar regions, that is 0 to 30 degree latitudes, they have the colder wind that start to blow towards the equatorial regions. So why? Because there is a higher temperature. When there is a higher temperature, that will start to, means the colder air will start to move towards the equatorial region. And at the 60 degree latitudes, okay, 60 degree latitudes the temperature is high and it starts to blow, and the colder air from these latitudes will start to move towards the 60-degree latitudes. So in this type, the winds, colder air and warmer air will start to move from a poles to the equator, and that we may say that they will start to move from a north to south or south to north. Okay. So here it is said, if it is a north and it is a south, the air will start to move like inwards, and this is also like a inwards. Means the colder air is start to blow towards the equatorial regions, and the warmer air will be started to move. So we say that here the warmer air from the equatorial region start to move towards the poles, and the colder air from the poles, they will start to move towards the latitudes of different temperatures. Okay, so this is how it is equatorial and poles. So the next one is the temperature means uneven heating between land and water. So how it is going to happen? As you all know, in the 4th chapter heat, I told about the land breeze and sea breeze. So what is that land breeze and sea breeze? First tell me, the land breeze occurs at which timing? Means land breeze is going to occur at a daytime or at a night time. So as you all know, this land breeze occurs at a daytime. Sorry children, I confused you. The land breeze occurs at the night time, and the sea breeze occurs at a daytime. So in this case, what happens? The temperature between the land and the water. So during the daytime, what happens? The land and the water. Here we consider the land and the water. During the daytime, the land gets more heat compared to water. Okay, it will take a time to take the temperature, higher temperature, but the land will get easily, they absorb the heat and they get rises up during the daytime. In this case, what happens? The winds from the water that start to move towards the land, and the warmer air from the land start to move towards the water region or ocean regions. So in this case, what happens? The sea breeze occurs. So during the land breeze, what happens? It is exactly the same as that of the sea breeze. So during the night time, okay, land and the water. So during the night time, what happens? The temperature at the land decreases very fastly compared to the water. So in this case, what happens? The colder air in the land region start to move towards the water region water region, and this warmer air start to move towards the land region. So this process is continuous during the daytime as well as in the night time. So this is usually occurs where the ocean, seas, places are there. So in that case, in those places only we can observe the sea breeze and the land breeze. So why this happens? Because of uneven heating that occurs between the land and the water. Okay, is that clear? Wind currents means wind currents are nothing but the blowing of the winds from the equatorial to a poles, or the poles to the equator, and from the land to water and water to land. That sea breeze, nothing but the land breeze. So this is all is causes because of the variation of a temperature on the earth surface. That will all causes to form the winds on the earth surface. So students, in generally these land breeze and the sea breeze, we call it as monsoon winds. Okay, please remember the word monsoon winds. Monsoon winds. So what is this called a monsoon? This is a Latin word which means what? The monsoon refers. So this monsoon is a Arabic word, not a Latin word. This is a monsoon is derived from the Arabic word which means a monsoon. Monsoon means was that is a temperature difference. So these monsoon winds we call it as a land breeze and a sea breeze. So these monsoon winds will bring the rain, and these winds causes the rain by the temperature variation and the wind variation. As I already told, these monsoon winds carry the water and that will brings the water. So these monsoon winds will always helps the farmers to bring the rains. Okay, so based on this we have the next concept, that is thunderstorm and cyclones. How these thunderstorms are produced, how this thunderstorm is carries to form cyclones. That is all we are going to study in the next class. But this what is called a thunderstorm and how they are produced, so I will give a somewhat glance. Okay, so this thunderstorm is usually occurs at a places where the temperature is hot, humid and tropical regions like India. Okay, so this thunderstorm is occurs at the hot and humid condition places, that is nothing in but tropical regions in like India. It is the best example where we can observe the more thunderstorming. So this is a uneven temperature variation, means it is all because of there is a temperature difference occurs on the environment which will lead to form the thunderstorms. The more variation in the thunderstorms, that will lead to a cyclones, and this cyclone has a more disasters and destruction on the environment which will lose the more number of peoples. So students, how these thunderstorms are produced means there is a rising temperature, means higher temperature is present on the earth's surface. Okay, before that you can ask me the question, in almost all places there must be not a higher temperature, right? So in that case we will say that the rising temperature on our surrounding, it will start to rises upwards. This will causes to rise the temperature of the winds, means the wind's temperature is also started to rises. For we told you about how these thunderstorms are going to produce. Okay, so these thunderstorms are produced by the rising in the temperature on the environment or in the our surrounding. Okay, so when there is a rising in the temperature, in that case what happens, the temperature will leads to start its impact on the winds. Obviously it will make its impact, because when it is starts to rises its temperature, that will leads to form the strong and risen winds, means the winds will acquire the temperature, means higher temperature they will acquire and starts to move upwards. So this leads to causes a carrier water winds, means the winds which are carrying higher temperatures, that will have the air with the droplets of water. So these air droplets are going to convert it and to fall as rain in some places. Okay, so the procedure for thunderstorm is what? There is a rising in the temperature on the environment, and that will causes the temperature, means that will causes the strong rising winds. Okay, so these strong rising winds carries the water droplets, and they will produce a strong lightning effect and a sound effect, that we nothing but call it as a thunderstorms. Okay, so these thunderstorms more effect we will call it as a cyclone. So students, in the next class I am going to start with the detail about the thunderstorming effect and how the cyclone are produced, and where what are the places that are usually going to acquire the what thunderstorm and cyclones. Okay, thank you students.